Now we're going to work with a blackened tilapia. Now, we're going to make our own blackened season here, but of course they have a pre-packaged blackened season if you want to use it. Depends if you like it a real hot, spicy one, which most of them that you find on the shelf, they are a little bit spicy. This one is not as spicy. That's one of the reasons I'm making it tonight for us. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get a little mixing bowl to make our blackened season in. We'll take our chili powder. A bit of onion powder. Some dried basil. A little bit of paprika. Now if you do like it hot, add some cayenne pepper to it. That would actually spice it up a little bit. Let's see our garlic. And then a little bit of cumin. The what?
Cumin. Is it hot?
No.
I thought it was.
And once it cooks with the fish mixed in with the salsa, it kind of blinds it out, or not blinds it out, it cools it off a little bit so you don't taste a spicy mix. Even though with the salsa, as you'll see, there's going to be jalapeños in it, which we're going to be taking the seeds and stuff out, and that's where the heat's at. So there's really not a lot of heat in this dish, but there's the opportunity, if you do like it a little bit spicy, you can add it into it, like with the seeds. Go ahead and keep those in there. Okay. Then just a little bit of salt. Just use regular table salt for this one. Okay. So make sure if you got any clumps there, just go ahead and smash them in. That's why I like using the spoon. Okay. And there's a lot of other stuff you can add in there depending on what your taste is, but this is just a basic blackened season. Okay. Take the tilapia, roll it in that season. Get a nice thick cover on it too. And if you think that it's too much season on top, it's probably not enough. Go ahead and have this real thick, because as you cook it, it blackens. You're going to lose quite a bit of the season while it's cooking there. But with the tilapia, it really absorbs the flavor well, and it's not very spicy, as you'll find out. Let's see. Before I forget, we need to spray our pan. You definitely don't want to set that into a dry pan, because then it'll stick really bad. Okay. Alright, just throw that in there. About a medium to medium high, cooking that on there. 3 to 4 minutes on the first side, and then on the second side, approximately just 3 minutes on that. With fish, you only need to get that up to 145 degrees. So you don't have to worry about, if you want yours a little bit hotter than that, that's fine. It will dry out a little bit if you cook it a little too long. Some people are perfectly fine with that, but with the salsa, it's going to help to add some moisture in it too, so that'll help you if you like your fish cooked a little bit more. Okay, so while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and work on our salsa. take some fresh strawberries. Basically, you want to cut those to about 1/4 of an inch also. But they don't have to be perfectly diced. So if you get little slivers, like so, that's fine with this. Okay. And with this salsa, now of course we got kiwi and we got peaches. I mean, you can throw in some mango if you want to throw that in there. You know, you can even throw in some bananas to add to it, and it works really well. So it's basically what's your preference, what's your favorite fruit. The key thing for this salsa though is that you are going to have jalapeños. You're also going to have red onions. Now you can actually use a Vidalia onion too, but I like the red onion because it's a little bit sharper flavor, and you already had the natural sweetness from the other fruit, so it helps add a contrast to it, which really works with this dish. Set that over there. Okay. Take a kiwi. Now some people, they actually like to eat the outside of the kiwi. I just happen to be one of those. It's perfectly safe. But for this one, you do want to go ahead and peel it off, because you will tell a difference in the flavor. You want to cut that pretty small as well. Just throw it all in there. Okay. Now the red onion, it says half a red onion. I just happened to find the largest red onion that we had down there, so I'm only going to use about 1/4 of it, because you really don't want that much of the onion in there. Okay, kind of flip that over there. You can see where I was saying that some of the seasoning will peel off naturally when you're cooking it. That's fine. And you're looking about 1/4 inch cut for this as well. Okay. Now with the jalapeno, go ahead and decap it and then cut it right in half. Just take you a regular spoon. Actually, let me do it over here where you can see better. And run along that vein and dig that right out. Now when you cut this, we want to cut this a little bit smaller, because jalapenos still have an earthly flavor, but you don't want to get a bite of that while you're eating this, but you do want enough where you can get a little bit of that heat. Okay. So less than 1/4 of an inch, a little bit above 1/8 of an inch. You don't have to mince it. And you don't need to use the whole thing of that for there, so use part of it there. Okay. Okay. Pull this off the side. Now the cilantro, you definitely want to make sure to use fresh cilantro with this. And you see any large stems, go ahead and just break those off. If you still have a few stems in there though, that's fine. It's just the really big ones you want to make sure and get out of there. Okay. You don't have to cut it too small, but as long as you don't have whole leaves in there. Like so. All right. We'll take a little bit of lemon juice. A little bit of salt. Table salt again. And then you're only going to need about half of a cucumber for this. And cut about the same way as before, about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Okay. All you need to do is just mix that all up. Now for the peaches, you can use fresh peaches if you want to. For this recipe, I actually use canned peaches. And the reason is because the syrup that they're in, it adds a lot to the flavor of this. And plus it is going to make it a little bit sweeter. But we're going to want that with this fish. And just as with the strawberries, you know, I've had people ask, can you use frozen strawberries? Yes, you can. Matter of fact, the last salsa we'll be doing, I'll actually be using the frozen fruit, just so that you can see that you honestly cannot tell the difference between the fresh and the frozen in this. Okay, let's make sure and mix that up real good. And lock with that salsa at least 30 minutes to an hour in the refrigerator to really let it incorporate the flavors there. And as you can see, this one's really bright in color. And the same way it is with the color is with the flavor. And voila. You got a quick, easy dish that takes very little time to put together. You have a wonderful presentation. Can you see that there? Yeah. And do it that way. It gives you a wonderful presentation and color to it, and as you'll find out with the flavor, it just really kicks it off there.